But speaking of Prestinni, let's talk about the Huntsmen versus the Mutineers. The Mutineers have some changes as well, Katie. The Huntsman recently changes with Prestinni, now facing his own team. And I've documented very well what Prestinni has gone through in the last couple months. That interview is available on our YouTube page, where he really talks about everything personally and professionally that he has gone through up until this point, including with Florida and moving to Chicago. So now they face each other. This is like the next chapter in this story. Florida will look a little different, and we've seen them face each other before, but now there's different players on different sides. So when you look at this matchup, in particular, Florida versus Chicago, who do you think has the edge and why?
Chicago. Thoughts and prayers to Florida. Like, they've got a new player in who's an AM. Mox has been.
Any faith? Any faith?
I can't comment really. I haven't seen their scrims. I've heard a little bit about him, but not a ton. Of course, Mox being benched. So realistically, with how Chicago's doing, the fire that they came out of just winning an event, Prestinni's back with his brother and clearly happier for it, then I imagine that it's very much so going to be in Chicago's favor to roll over Florida in that matchup.
Is there any motivation there, though? Like the fact that maybe there's some bad blood between Prestinni and Florida? Maybe Florida will be more mud? For Preston, you think, not for the other players?
Well, because why would they necessarily care? Like, Preston was the one, at least in the short term, who got the short end of the stick, right? Okay. Like, he goes to a grand final and they lose with his team, and then he gets benched, and then his replacement comes in, and then his team wins. Yeah. Right? Like, so if I'm him, I want to flex all over them. Whereas Florida, they're just like, I don't necessarily think that drive is going to be there for them in the way it may be.
This is also where Chicago can just make a really big statement generally. Like, not even against Florida, but like they're in, like, the other bracket has Dallas and Atlanta in it. And depending on how you feel about Minnesota in there, right? No offense, Seattle. But like Chicago is on by far like the quote unquote easier side of the bracket, right? And this is a chance for them to make a massive statement that they're definitely the best team coming out of Group B and potentially the best team at this event.